So let us move with the new chapter charge here. So let us go with chapter number 3, charge of GST. And in this, guys, main important things are reverse charge mechanism, e-commerce operator liable to pay GST, and this composition scheme. So without wasting time, let us quickly go into that. So here I have given some applicability of CGST Act, SGST Act, UTGST Act, the small things you can just read and understand. Next, analysis of section 9 is there. You know, section 9 is the charging section. What is the charging section? The section which gives power to the government to levy tax. Section 9, very important, and you should actually remember section 9 subsection 3 at any cost. Reverse charge mechanism, very important section number. So please make sure you remember that 9 subsection 3 reverse charge mechanism. What is this whole concept all about? The whole concept is, sir, generally supplier is liable to pay GST, but in certain cases recipient is liable to pay GST. So what are the cases? The cases are notified by the government. So you buy some notified goods, you buy some notified services, you are liable to pay GST. You buy some notified goods, you buy some notified services, it is not supplier, it is you who are liable to pay GST. Okay. But in our syllabus, we will be studying not goods, we will be studying only the notified services. What are the notified services? If I purchase, I am liable to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Am I clear, everyone? So that is what we are going to see. So what are the notified services? Before, like, let us move on to that 9 subsection 3 reverse charge mechanism. What are the notified services? Sir, the notified services are, first thing. First, I will 1 second. Let us proceed. See, sir, the notified services are, first thing. See, whenever you are going with reverse charge mechanism notification and exemptions, you should be clear with who is the supplier, who is the recipient, what is the nature of supply, what is happening between them. All these 3 conditions together should be satisfied. Then only you can enjoy RCM. Any one condition here and there gets violated, it will fall under FCM. So general rule is FCM. These selected services are what? Coming under RCM. Am I clear? So now listen carefully. Right. So first of all, sir, coming to the things, as I told you, reverse charge mechanism, we should be careful really about who is the supplier, who is the recipient, what is the nature of supply. All the conditions satisfied, then only reverse charge mechanism, otherwise forward charge straight away. So first of all, let us move on to the first notified service. What is that, ma? GTA, goods transport agencies. You know, normally GTA services, sir, GTA means any person transporting the goods by road and issuing a consignment note. If these people are providing services of transporting the goods by road, transporting the goods by road services to the specified recipients. Who are the specified recipients, ma? Factory which is registered under registered under Factories Act, society which is registered under Societies Act, cooperative society registered under the respective cooperative societies act, or any person registered under GST, or any body corporate registered, or any partnership firm registered or not, or casual taxable person. If these are the recipients, we all put these people all put together, we call them as specified recipients. We call them as specified recipients. Clear? For these specified recipients, if you are a GTA providing services of transportation of goods by road, then these specified recipients are liable to pay GST under RCM, not the GTA. Am I clear? In this, see, everybody registered except that partnership firm registered or not. Casual taxable person also registered under GST. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of casual taxable person? You might be already knowing. Casual taxable person is nothing but, sir, the person who does not have fixed place of business in the state from which he is making the supply. So any person who does not have fixed place of business from which he is making the supply. There is a clear example here, you can just check. So we have already discussed this in the class also. The point is, casual taxable person meaning is what? Sir, I am selling something. For example, Mr. Verma is having a silk saree showroom in Tamil Nadu. He is going to Gujarat, and in a exhibition there, he is having a small tent in the ground and he is selling the silk sarees for some 10 days, 15 days. The exhibition will be there. He will be selling them and coming back. Now in Gujarat, he is making the supply. For Gujarat, he is making supplies from Gujarat. In Gujarat, whether he is having any fixed place of business? No, sir, he is not having any fixed place of business. That means, sir, Verma is a normal taxpayer for Tamil Nadu, but for Gujarat, he is a casual taxable person, sir. For Gujarat, he is a casual taxable person, sir. Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand? So, casual taxable person means who does not have fixed place of business in the state from which he is making the supply. So that is casual taxable person. Okay. So the point is that GTA, you know, goods transport agency, that they can provide services by transportation of goods by road for these people, and these people are liable to pay GST under RCM. And you also know that GTA is also having an option to go with FCM also. So if GTA is opting for RCM, GST rate is 5%. GTA is opting for FCM, it is 12%. But what is the disadvantage if you are under RCM? Guys, very important. What is the disadvantage if you are under RCM? Sir, if you are under RCM, sir, the biggest disadvantage is when I am making a supply, my customer will go and pay GST to the government. He will be happy. But the problem is for me. The problem is for me. So now what is the problem for me? For me, the problem is, sir, I cannot take ITC on my purchases. GTA cannot take ITC on GTS purchases. Are you able to understand that? Are you able to understand that? So the point is clear. Sir, any person who is making RCM supplies cannot take ITC on his inward supplies. So same way, GTA also not an exception to that. Sir, GTA is providing services coming under RCM. Whatever GTA purchases, GTA cannot take ITC, sir. But GTA has been given a golden opportunity here. What is that? GTA, if they want to choose, they can choose under FCM also. They can go for FCM also. And if they go for FCM, what is the GST rate? GST rate is 12% only, sir. GST rate is 12% only, sir. And they can also avail ITC on their inward supplies. I repeat, GTA's customer is not having any problem. GTA is going under forward charge or reverse charge. GTA's customer will take ITC. But the problem here is for whom? The problem is for GTA. What is the problem? The problem is, sir, GTA cannot avail ITC because GTA is making outward supply which is covered under RCM. So GTA cannot take ITC. Always remember, you take ITC only when you have output tax in your hand. I am GTA. Do I have any output tax in my hand? No, sir. I am generating tax liability, but my customer is liable to pay GST. Sir, my customer is liable to pay GST on that. So what is that? That means you don't have output tax in your hand. Yes, sir. Then you don't ask ITC also. So you will get ITC in this hand, provided you have output tax in this hand. Simple. Sir, I am providing RCM supplies. Do I have output tax? I am providing. I am not receiving. I am providing. I repeat, I am providing RCM supplies. I am providing RCM supplies. Do I have output tax in my hand? That means, will you give ITC to me? But if you go for FCM, you have output tax in your hand. How much? 12%. You are liable to pay GST. Today you are generating GST liability, and also that liability you are only supposed to pay to government. So you have output tax in your hand, so you will get input tax here. Simple. So enjoy. But sir, morning I will go for RCM, evening I will go for FCM, sir. Is that possible, sir? Don't make this khichdi here. Morning RCM, afternoon FCM, again evening RCM, night FCM. Don't do all this nonsense. So for you, the simple thing is, sir, either you go for RCM or FCM, but option once exercised, it will be valid for the entire financial year. Year wise, only once you can change the option. That's all. You cannot change it here and there. Am I clear? And so now the interesting thing here is, sir, if you understand the provisions of exemptions, RCM, everything, we can come to a conclusion that GT is having three types of customers, sir. Three types of customers. Who are those three types of customers? One is those whom we have already discussed just now, specified recipients. In that case, it is taxable either RCM or FCM. That means first option is RCM only here, because generally for these people RCM only. But if you want, you can take it under FCM also. If you want, you can take it under FCM also. Are you understanding the point? So that is the option. Clear? But sir, what if GTA is providing services to any person other than the specified recipients? Who are the specified recipients other than these people? Give me some examples. There are some unregistered individuals are there. You are staying in hostels. You are shifting from the hostel to your native after the exams are over. Going to a GTA asking, sir, please transport my books, sir. I have already carried them in my head. Now you carry them in your bus. Like that, you are asking the GTA to transport your books and luggage to your native place. Now, they are charging some consideration. GST will be there or not? No, it is exempt. It is exempt. Understand? GTA, I'll tell you, providing services to any person other than specified recipients. The specified recipients, 7 people whom we have discussed just now. Or GTA is providing services to these government departments, these Government departments, establishments, the local authorities and government agencies who got registered under GST. These people are registered under GST, but why they got registered under GST? Sir, they got registered under GST only for the purpose of complying TDS provisions under section 51, sir. The TDS detailed concept we'll see in the next TDS related video. But please understand here that these people got registered under GST not because they're doing some business, because they have some obligation under section 51 to follow TDS provisions. To follow the TDS provisions, they are taking GST registration. I repeat, they are not doing any business. They are taking GST registration because they have an obligation, TDS obligation under section 51. To fulfill that only they are taking GST registration. For those people, if you are providing services, who are you? You are a GTA providing services. I repeat, this exemption is only for GTA services. Don't use it everywhere. We are combining RCM services and exemptions together and discussing here. So GTA services provided to specified recipients, RCM or FCM, fine. Other than specified recipients and this section 51 entities, in short, to call them. So the people who got registered under GST for the purpose of following section 51, for these people, if GTA provides services, exempt under. If it is exempt under GST, who is liable to pay GST? RCM or FCM? If it is exempt under GST, who is liable to pay GST? RCM or FCM? Respond in chat box. RCM or FCM? Person full active. Super. I'm happy that you are responding the right answers. Sir, if it is exempt under GST, who is liable to pay GST? Sir, no RCM, no FCM, sir. Nobody liable to pay GST. Right. So that is what the concept. Shall we proceed? So with this, we have understood GTA services, and using GTA services, we have understood one common point for all the RCM activities. What is that common point for all the RCM activities? For all the RCM activities, the common point is, if I am giving RCM services, I am providing RCM services, then I cannot take ITC on my purchase because I don't have output tax in my hand. Whatever I have provided is taxable only, but my recipient is liable to pay GST. No, sir, I am not liable to pay GST, sir. So output tax is not there in my hand. So input tax will not be given to me. Am I clear? That is what the concept. So that is what all about that. Next. So what are the other things? Shall we continue now? Hope you are clear with this CTA services. So now it is easy. Check, we can finish all the other RCM entries. Clear ba? So we have seen this GTA services. They have option to go with RCM and FCM. Entire 21 entries will be there under RCM. Out of that, 3 people will have this option to go with RCM or FCM, whatever they want. General rule is RCM. If they want to go with FCM, they can go with that. Clear? So fine. So coming to the point, next one, legal services. Sir, what do you mean by legal services, sir? Legal services means, sir, this individual advocates or senior advocate or firm of advocates are giving representational services, sir. They are going and representing me in the court or in front of any authorities, sir. Or they are giving me any advisory services in any branch of law, sir. Then, okay, Ram, who are you first of all? Sir, I am a business entity located in taxable territories. What do you mean by business entity? Any person doing business, including the sole proprietor. Even sole proprietor is covered here. Even sole proprietor is covered here. Don't feel anytime, sir, business entity means always a company or LLP like that, big corporates and all. Any person doing business. Even a small grocery shop next to your house is also a business entity. A sole proprietor is also covered. So in this case, who is liable to pay GST? Sir, business entity na. The business entity is only liable to pay GST, sir, if they are the recipient. Am I clear? And if you remember legal services exemptions, legal services exemptions sir, legal services are exempt if they are provided to any person other than business entity. Do you remember that, Ra? Other than bet, it is exempt. For example, lawyer is providing some advisory services to a individual for his divorce case, exempt under GST because any person other than business entity. Or do you remember, sir, any business entity whose aggregate turnover is not exceeding the threshold limit, making it liable for registration? Small business entity we call in short. That means the legal services, if you remember, I am covering exemptions also here. Legal services to bet, that means business entity in taxable territory, and others. For others, it is exempt. For others, it is exempt. But for bet, small bet. What do you mean by small bet, Ra? Sir, they are not doing even an aggregate turnover, making them liable for registration, sir. Not liable for even registration. So the aggregate turnover is less than the threshold limit, sir. For them, you are providing a small startup company. For them, they are providing. Then what is the taxability, ma? Then it is exempt under GST, sir. Small fellows, no, don't trouble them. Okay, so exempt under GST. No, sir. Others. Others not taxable. That means Geo company, Reliance company, or any other big business entities, all that. So then RCM, obviously. Am I clear? Everybody? Everybody? Oh, please tolerate my handwriting, because see, I just want to finish it just like that, so I'm not wasting time in writing them neatly, all the stuff. So hope it is clear for you. The concept is clear. So I'm covering RCM also, exemption also here. Okay. Right, so let us move on to the next one. The next one is arbitral tribunal providing services to business entity. Business entity is liable to pay GST under RCM. Next, any person, supplier, Ray, please stay focused, or please be careful with supplier and recipient, and also the nature of supply. Any person providing services to body corporate or a partnership firm. What services, sir? Sponsorship services. Sponsorship service means what, sir? Generally we feel sponsorship services means the sponsor is the supplier. No, sponsor is the recipient. We are advertising the sponsor's name or his brand. So sponsor is the recipient, sponsor is the body corporate or a partnership firm, and we can be any person who are advertising their name. For example, your college is doing some events and you are going and searching for the sponsors, getting the title sponsor, etc, etc, advertising their name, and you are getting some consideration. Who is liable to pay GST? The sponsor is liable to pay GST, but the condition is what? Guys, be careful here. Sponsor is not business entity, body corporate or a partnership firm. And for the purpose of GST, understand, in GST, LLP is treated as what? LLP is treated as partnership firm. Let us not worry about the technicalities, we don't have that much time. Okay, so I repeat, sponsorship services, body corporate or a partnership firm is the recipient. Any person giving them sponsorship services, that means advertising their name, is coming under RCM. Am I clear with that? Super. Next. Entry number 5. Let us take it. Okay, let us finish it off. What is there? Why to take it at end? So now, coming to the government services, let us discuss this. 1 second. See, now understand, the next entry is government services related one. So government services, if you see, sir, government services, it is given in exemptions also, and it is there in RCM also. So exemptions and RCM, let us have a comprehensive discussion coverage here. So in this exemptions and RCM, we are combining together and reading. And I told you already, if you remember, sir, government services, if you take government services, second, government services, for government, who are the customers? Sir, for government, general public are the customers, sir, or business entities, bet, business entity in taxable territory are the customers, sir. If you see for general public, can I say all the services are exempt? For general public, all the services are exempt. All the services are exempt for general public. But You know what are the exceptions? A, B, C. But A, B, C are always taxable, and also they are taxable under forward charge mechanism, FCM, forward charge mechanism. That means supplier, the government is only liable to pay GST. Somebody, like some people who are watching our lecture for the first time, may be thinking, sir, what is this ABC? What is this ABC? Understand, in exemptions, sir, there is entry number 6, which is talking about government services, and in that we have this ABC. You should always remember this ABC. A is Postal Department services and Indian Railway services. B is any service in relation to aircraft or a vessel. C is transportation of passengers and transportation of goods. D you just ignore. But ABC you should definitely remember. ABC you should definitely remember. I repeat, ABC. These things you always remember. A is Postal Department and Indian Railways. B, anything related to aircraft or a vessel. For example, Government of India, like Airport Authorities of India, providing some landing or parking facility for your aircraft. Something like that. Anything related to your aircraft or a vessel. C, transportation of passengers and transportation of goods. These three you should definitely remember in the same order. For various purpose, you just ignore it. Clear? So you should remember those 3 points in the same way. Clear? So I repeat, government services for general public, always any service provided by government is exempt. Enjoy exemption. Why I am discussing exemptions here now? If you know whether it is taxable or exempt, then only you will understand whether RCM or FCM. Here the problem with government services is some services are exempt, some services are taxable. If it is exempt, I need not worry RCM or FCM. But if it is taxable, some are under FCM, some are under RCM. So I am discussing together government services, exemptions also, RCM also. Clear? Now coming to the point. Sir, exemptions, government services, general public is the customer for the government, and all services are exempt. That is a general rule. But ABC is always taxable, and ABC is always taxable under FCM. That means government only will pay GST on these activities: Postal Department, Indian Railways, aircraft or vessel related services, or transportation of passengers and goods. All that they will not say RCM. Okay. Now coming to this business entity, bet. Sir, bet, that is business entity in taxable territory. Okay. So business entity in taxable territory, I am classifying it as small bet and others. Small bet and others. What do you mean by small bet, sir? What do you mean by small bet? Small bet means, as I already told you, sir, this business entity aggregate turnover, if you see, it is not exceeding threshold limit for registration, sir, for registration. I repeat, what do you mean by small bet? Business entities whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, aggregate turnover in preceding financial year, PFY, preceding financial year, it is PFY, preceding financial year, not exceeding even the threshold limit. That means they are not even liable for registration. That much small business they are doing, that much small business entity they are. Nowhere in the law there is a word small business entity. This is just for our understanding. Okay. For these people, if government provides any services, for them also same provision. All services are exempt. All services are exempt. Government providing services to general public and small business entities, everything is exempt other than 6 ABC. Other than 6 ABC. Am I clear with that? Other than 6 ABC. Till now comfortable, everybody? Of course, you know this already. We are just revising. Everybody respond. Clear, Amma? Okay. Guys, I repeat, quickly we can cover this RCM and all that stuff, because this is government services. You know, only this entry is little bit lengthy. Remaining all services, we can just like that finish it off. Okay. Now, sir, what about others, sir? What about others? The others, if you see others, that is other business entities in taxable territory, other bet. What is the general rule? Sir, the general rule itself is what? All services are taxable. All services are taxable. All services are taxable, and that too under what? RCM. All services are taxable, that too under RCM, that too under RCM, that too under RCM. But ABC is, you know, ABC is FCM. Please understand, always ABC, always taxable, always FCM for everybody. For everybody, whether it is general public or business entity, everybody it is always taxable, always FCM. But sir, for these people, government is providing any service where consideration less than or equal to rupees 5,000, then it is exempt. But sir, this is not applicable for ABC other than ABC. Am I clear? Other than ABC. Are you able to understand? For, I repeat, other business entities, let us focus again. For other business entities, any service you provide, sir, now taxable. Any service you provide, now taxable. Now, please understand one thing. Any service you provide, taxable. Taxable under RCM. But if consideration is less than or equal to 5,000 rupees, then it is exempt. But this exemption is not applicable. This exemption is not applicable for whom? For ABC, this is not applicable. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That means, sir, I mean to say that, sir, I mean to say that ABC is always taxable, sir. ABC is taxable. And that too under FCM. Is taxable, that too under FCM. That is what I am trying to tell, sir. Are you able to understand, everybody? Am I clear, ma? Everybody? Simple flowchart. Shall I continue? Simple flowchart. Right. Listen now. Everybody clear? Just one confirmation. That's all. Let us proceed. I repeat, sir, government services, general public and business entities, sir. General public, everything is exempt, sir, other than ABC. So other than ABC, that means ABC is taxable under FCM. For business entities, if it is small business entity, any service is exempt, sir. But ABC is taxable, sir. That too taxable under FCM, sir. For other business entities, everything is taxable, sir. Taxable under RCM only, sir. But if the consideration is less than or equal to 5,000 rupees, then it is exempt, sir. But this relaxation is not available for ABC. That means what you are trying to say, ABC is always taxable under FCM, no matter it is general public or business entity, small business entity or other business, no matter who is the recipient. Always taxable under FCM. What do you mean by ABC, sir? Postal Department Services and Ministry of Indian Railways. Next, number 2, sir. The number 2 is this aircraft and vessel related services. Number 3, C. Point C is transportation of passengers and transportation of goods. Clear? So that is what all about that. And here there is one special person, sir. There is one special person. Who is the special person, sir? Do you remember? We can say special service. What is that special service, sir? Renting of immobile property. To whom? to business entity. By whom? By government. Here government in the sense we are talking about central government, state government, union territory or local authority. Okay, very good, Rasivaram. So renting of immovable property, special services, renting of immovable property by government. So now if they are providing it to registered person, then it is RCM. If they are providing it to unregistered person under GST, registered person under GST, registered person under, so it is RCM. To unregistered person it is FCM. Simple, clear. That is what we have seen. Entry 5A, if you remember. Shall I continue, shall I continue, everyone? So that is what the concept. So that is what regarding government services. But here one more thing we have to see is, sir, this point is not applicable to Indian Railways. If you remember, this is not applicable to Indian Railways. So Indian Railways renting the immovable property, Indian Railways renting immovable property, renting immovable property, always FCM, always FCM, always FCM. Am I clear? And with respect to special persons at this point, not only applicable for government, sir, this is also applicable to parliament. Sir, these provisions are also applicable to assembly, legislature, and also to courts or tribunals. That means in the court premises they are putting up geo tower, for that they are paying rent to the court. Then yes, registered under GST na RCM, unregistered na FCM. Are you understanding this point, Ra? So simple, ma. With this just two flowcharts we have covered entire government services exemptions as well as what? RCM also on government services. We have understood what is taxable, what is exempt, what is RCM, what is FCM. Shall I continue? Respond, respond, everybody, everybody, respond, 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 everybody. Ray, your energy is my energy, Ra. Please understand that. That's all. We can finish quickly RCM and then we can move on to composition scheme. So the next one is the renting of again 5AA. Another important one. Entry 5AA. 5B, 5C, you can just ignore them, not relevant for your exam, or just go through them once. Okay, later on you should not say, Vishnu sir, you said not to read, that came in exam. Okay, just go through that once later on. So entry 5AA is nothing but what? Sir, any person renting the residential dwelling, sir, any person renting the residential dwelling to a person registered under GST, sir. Residential dwelling, I can say, for business purpose, for business purpose. So here simple, sir, there is a residential property given on rent for residential purpose. I'll show you the flowchart. Residential building, purpose is also residence only. Whether the recipient is registered or unregistered, it is exempt under GST. Again, we are touching exemption plus RCM. Okay, so residential building for residential purpose given for registered person or unregistered person, both cases it is exempt. But sir, residential building I am giving it for business purpose, sir. That means I'm giving a residential building to a doctor who is putting up his clinic, or I'm giving a residential building to a chartered accountant who is putting up his office. So if the residential building is given for office purpose, see, only if it is given for residential purpose it is exempt. If it is given for business purpose it is taxable. So if the recipient is registered fellow, then it is taxable under RCM. Okay. If the recipient is unregistered fellow, then it is taxable under FCM. But residential building given on rent for residential purpose exempt, but for business purpose taxable. Recipient is registered in RCM, unregistered in FCM. That is what the concept. Okay? Here RPT means recipient. Okay, so that is what the point. Next, what is next one? So we are done with the major things. So small entries now. The director providing his services. Guys, hope you are clear. What if supplier here is unregistered? Supplier is registered, unregistered, it does not matter. Taxable. If supplier is also unregistered, what will happen? Nobody will be there to pay GST to the government. Supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered na RCM ra. Supplier is unregistered, recipient is also unregistered na. It is taxable only, but nobody is there to pay GST to the government. It's just like you are going to roadside tea stall and having the tea. Taxable only, but there is no person to collect tax and pay to the government. Okay. Next, so director services. Understand, director may be like what? Director may be an employee of the organization or may not be an employee of the organization. If he is an employee of the organization, look at this carefully. Sir, director is an employee of the organization. How do you understand whether he is an employee of the organization or not? Sir, they are deducting TDS under section 192 of Income Tax Act, sir. Then he is employee. If he is an employee, sir, it is neither SOG nor SOS. So no GST only. Example, sir, whole-time director of a company, providing his services to the company, getting salary, neither SOC nor SOS. But understand, you are providing your service as an employee and okay, fine. But you will attend the board meetings and get sitting fees for attending the board meetings. So those sitting fees is paid to you for not an employee because you are a director of the company. That is taxable under RCM. Am I clear? Director, employee na, no GST, no RCM. But director will get sitting fees, a consideration for attending the board meetings. That is RCM. That is taxable and taxable under RCM. Sir, what if director is not an employee, sir? Then it becomes supply. But sir, that director is not an employee, but he is a director of a body established by central government or state government or local authority, sir. Then schedule 3 is there, neither SOG nor SOS. Only in other entities, if he is director, it is supply of service and it will attract RCM. So simple, entire director services, if you just summarize from various concepts, from various provisions, if we understand, we can just come to this conclusion. So director services, director can be an employee, may not be an employee. If he is an employee, no GST, nothing. But if he is not an employee, then we should see whether he is a director of a body established by government or other establishments. If it is a body established by government, again schedule 3 will come into picture. It is neither SOG nor SOS, so no GST implication. But if the director is a not an employee and is not a director of a government body, then it is supply only, sir. Then there comes RCM. Okay. But in any case, like here, even though he is an employee, if he is getting sitting fees for attending the board meetings, that means they are providing services as a director only, not as an employee. So that is taxable under RCM. Clear? Shall I continue? So, and one more interesting, like our recent one clarification, that is nothing but, sir, director will provide some services in his personal capacity, sir, not being the director of the company, but in his personal capacity, sir. What about that, sir? Then RCM straight away will not come into picture. You should see independently whether any other RCM provision will come into picture. But just because he is a director, RCM will not come into picture. I repeat, this is a point for amendment. Actually, this is May 24 related amendment. Okay. What is that? The director providing any services in his personal capacity shall be assessed accordingly, but not straight away under RCM. Hope I am clear. Shall we continue? So that is what the concept. Okay. Next, guys, hope I am clear. Shall I continue? Shall I continue? Please give response so that I'll understand my speed, everything is okay or what. Just C letter, type C, that's all. Okay, next, insurance agent, sir. Insurance agent providing services to insurance company. Obviously, the insurance company is liable to pay GST on that. And insurance agents are not employees of insurance companies. That is why you will not be seeing Schedule 3 coming into picture here. So, insurance agent services are taxable and insurance company is liable to pay GST. Same way, recovery agents providing the services to banks, financial institutions, and NBFCs by way of recovering the loans or whatever it is. Then further, they will get some commission that is liable for GST. That is not salary. They are also not salaried employees. So banking companies, financial institutions, and NBFCs are liable to pay GST. Same way, any music composer, photographer, or artist. Here the interesting thing is, sir, they are doing some work, composing music, composing some tunes, or taking a photograph or artist work, all that stuff. For that, they should have got copyright under section 13(1)(a) of Copyright Act 1957, and they are allowing some music company or a producer to use that copyright. For that, these people will get royalty. So that royalty is taxable under RCM, so that music company or the producer will be liable to pay GST, but not the music composer, not the photographer, not the artist. Sir, it comes under RCM, so this music company or the producer is liable to pay GST, sir. That is the concept. Okay. Now, here one more thing is author. Sir, author who is like having his copyright on his original literary, he is allowing the publisher to use it and sell the books. For that, publisher will pay royalty to the author. On that, who is liable to pay GST? Publisher is liable to pay GST. As I told you, for example, I wrote a book called How to Pass CA Within 30 Days. I am giving the publishing fiction category, so I am giving publishing rights to the boys publishers. They are publishing and selling it, and they are paying me royalty per book sold. They are paying me 30 rupees royalty. Who is liable to pay GST on that? The boys publishers, the publishing company is liable to pay GST. But the interesting thing is, the law has given me an option to go for FCM if I want. So if I want to go for FCM, I should register under GST and I should start raising tax invoice on the publisher. I told you already, only 3 people under this RCM notification has an option to go with either RCM or FCM. A sitting fees under RCM, correct? So the point is, please understand, sir. Only 3 people have got this option of going with either RCM or FCM under this notification. One is GTA, the other is author. Here we have seen clear, but same story, once option exercised, it will be valid for the entire financial year. You cannot change in middle. Okay. Next, overseeing committee which is appointed by Reserve Bank of India to give advisory services to Reserve Bank of India on various matters. RBI is liable to pay GST on that. Next, individual direct selling agents. What do you mean by that? Sir, there are people who are getting licensed to act as a direct selling agent. Individuals also will get that, partnership firms also will get that, body corporates also will get that, companies also will get that. The point is, if you are an individual and you are providing services as a direct selling agent to banking company or NBFCs, that means you are selling their home loans, education loans, etc., etc. For that, they will pay you commission. And I repeat, you are an individual. If you are a body corporate, partnership firm, or LLP, it is straight away FCM. It will not come under RCM. If it doesn't come under RCM, that means it is under FCM. Am I clear? So you are providing your services as a direct selling agent. So that is the concept, right? Let us move on. Next, please understand business facilitator and business correspondent thing. So generally, just searching for some space. Okay. So if you see business facilitator and business correspondent, see business facilitator to bank providing their services and business correspondent to bank providing their services. These people might also have agents. Agent of business facilitator providing services to business facilitator and agent of business correspondent providing services to business correspondent. Sir, what are covered in RCM? Na? Business facilitator to bank is covered under RCM. But business business facilitator to bank is covered under RCM. But business correspondent to bank is not covered under RCM. That means it is FCM. Agent of business facilitator is not given in RCM entry itself. That means if at all, see, normally business facilitator will not have an agent. That fellow itself is a small fellow. But if he has, it is under FCM. But if agent of business correspondent is providing services to business correspondent, it is given under RCM. Please be clear with this. In the law, I repeat, in the law, they have just given this point and this point. Okay. For your better clarity, I am discussing the other things also. Sorry. So for your clarity, I am just discussing the other things also. So please remember this carefully, because in the exam, they may just confuse you with business facilitator and correspondent. So these things we have seen. Right. Next. So any person other than body corporate is providing services to a registered person. What is the service? Security services. Security services means supplying the manpower, the security persons. That is the service. It is covered under RCM. But if the supplier is body corporate, then it is FCM. Supplier should be any person other than body corporate. That means, can I say individuals, partnership firm, HUF, LLP, all that. Okay. Recipient, please be careful. Recipient should be registered person, not body corporate. Recipient can be individual also, body corporate also, HUF, anybody. I'll just show you one example. Just go through that later on. Just pause the video and go through that later on. So if you see, I repeat, supplier should be any person other than body corporate. Recipient is not body corporate. I repeat, recipient is not body corporate. Recipient is just any person registered under GST. Supplier is any person other than body corporate. Okay, any of these conditions are violated, then straight away FCM. Okay, so this is the example. You can just pause the video and just cross check the example also. But here the point here is, sir, this RCM will not apply. This RCM will not apply if the recipient is government department registered under GST just to comply with section 51 provision. It is taxable only, but it is not RCM. That means FCM. And if recipient is registered person, but that fellow is opting for composition scheme also, this RCM provision is not applicable. Taxable only, but RCM is not applicable. That means FCM. Are you understanding the point? Recipient is registered person. Recipient is registered person. But if the recipient is these two people who have taken registration only for the purpose of following section 51, or who is a composition taxpayer, these two cases, RCM is not applicable, only FCM straight away. RCM is not applicable, only FCM straight away. Am I clear? I repeat, they are taxable. This is not like GTA. In GTA only exemption is given, not here. Okay, they are taxable, but taxable under FCM. They are taxable, but taxable under FCM. Hope it is clear for you. And the last entry, the relevant one for us in RCM is, sir, any person other than body corporate renting the motor vehicle with the cost, like passenger vehicle actually, okay, which is designed to carry passengers, with the cost of the fuel already included in the consideration. This any person other than body corporate. That means this is a non-body corporate situation. Supplier is a non-body corporate, but recipient is body corporate. If you have understood the discussion, you should be paying utmost attention to supplier and recipient. Sometimes they say body corporate, sometimes they say not a body corporate, sometimes they say registered, sometimes they say unregistered, all that stuff. So you should be really careful with this. Okay, so recipient is a body corporate. Supplier is any person other than body corporate renting the motor vehicles. This is not transportation of passengers, this is renting of motor vehicle. So renting of motor vehicle with cost of the fuel included in that, which is a passenger vehicle, not goods carriage vehicles, or not lorry, truck and all. We are talking about any bus or car, anything like that. So in such case, who is liable to pay GST? Sir, the body corporate is liable to pay GST. Okay, so normally we will be seeing MNC companies will be giving this pickup and drop facility for the employees. Further, they will take some cabs on rent, all that. So in such cases, The cab drivers all are small fellows. We cannot cover like GST from them. So we brought RCM here. So the company will pay GST under RCM. That is what the whole agenda. Am I clear? So that is what the concept, right? Next. The next one is, and here there is one clarification. The doubt is, sir, above we have discussed no RCM. Is it for renting of the motor vehicles or transportation of passengers? Who got this doubt? I don't know. Seriously, the department gave clarification also. They said, this is for renting of motor vehicles, not for passenger transportation services. They are not, passenger transportation services are not covered under RCM. They are under FCM only. And one more thing is, difference between renting of motor vehicle and transportation of passengers. If I rent a vehicle to you, sir, that vehicle will be completely at your disposal, Nora. Wherever you want, you can take it. In whichever route you want, you can take it. There is no such predetermined route, all that stuff. So you can take it wherever you want. You can use it however you want, of course, without damaging it. Okay, but that will be completely at your disposal. But if it is passenger transportation, you tell me where to be dropped, at what time you should be dropped. We will pick you up and drop you. Simple. Vehicle will not be at your disposal. So there is difference between them. Clear? So this RCM is applicable only for what? RCM is applicable only for renting of motor vehicle, not for transportation of passengers. With this, we are done with RCM. 9 subsection 4, not that greatly relevant for you. Just you go through that later on. So this is the notes for 9 subsection 4. You can just give a glance to that later on. So let us not worry. Now coming to 9 subsection 5. So we are done with 9 subsection 3. Hope everybody clear. So we are done with reverse charge mechanism under 9 subsection 3. Sorry, I just forgot to mention this renting the motor vehicle. Here this fellow is also having an option like GTA, just like exactly like GTA. Can go with RCM or FCM. RCM means 5%, FCM means 12% GST rate. Just like similar, exactly same like GTA. So option 1 exercise, it is valid for entire financial year. Am I clear with this? So that is what the concept.